The number one quarterback for the Eagles, who wears number one, displayed a perfect stat line in his preseason debut for the 2022 season. But I wanted to go and look a little bit between the lines because although we could still see some criticism, imperfection, but there's things sometimes that we just have to clear up. What is going on, everybody? Lindy Endzone is in for the touchdown, taking the lead for the Philadelphia Eagles, one video at a time. And yes, well, I still do so happen to have a hard time recording videos and whatnot, as you can tell by how this one is going so far. Thought I'd try and get up bright and early to grind some content out and get a little review of the preseason game as to what happened yesterday. Look over some of the some of the key players, our rookies, our quarterback, see how these guys were, get a little bit of a deeper dive into seeing what is actually going on before we start to create those common criticisms again. And the same goes for Jalen Hurts, as we have been accustomed to ever since his first year starting. And whether it's he does not throw over the middle of the field enough. He has a hard time throwing to his left. He prefers to go to his right. He doesn't trust the pocket enough. He doesn't trust the pass protection enough. So there's, those are a few examples from what I have heard in terms of criticism with our quarterback here. But there's a couple of plays in general that I would like to pick out and break down a little bit more, so we get a better understanding as to when we diagnose how a play develops and what causes certain things to occur. You have to understand that it's one, the offense is one cohesive unit, and if there's no unity in there and things start to break down, well, when you're just watching the game on TV, everybody points to the quarterback first, okay, well, why did he do this? Why did he do that? So I just wanted to break down a little bit in certain situations as to why something happens. And sometimes it just comes down to play design, to which something specifically is intended. So let's bring it up here. For example, in this one, and as I switch my screen, this was the very first play of the opening drive for the Eagles, where they have elected to receive. It was a 1st and 10 on their own 20. And well, I'm still trying to work around NFL Plus because it is different. Having a subscription like this is new to me. So if I am incorrect, if I'm incorrect at times, as for a lot of people, it's a learning curve. We're in a means of trying to get better every day. But this is in my opinion on, of course, a lot of this is my opinion, what I'm seeing when I'm watching the game. And I go back and look at specific plays as to why something has happened. So the Eagles right now are in an 11 personnel look. They got Miles Sanders in the backfield. This looks like it's set up to be a play action with Hurts under center. You got Rager at the top of your screen with Quez Watkins and A.J. Brown working the strong side with Dallas Goedert. So what's going to happen here is, off of the play action, you're going to see a rollout from Jalen Hurts, and the immediate thing is I've heard plenty of times that, oh, he's escaping the pocket too early. Well, if you kind of go back into I can't even speak. See, this is what I mean. If you go back and look at the play again, this is how the play was designed. So I'm going to play it in full. You guys can take a look at it one more time, and then we'll explain in some basic detail as to you know why certain things have transpired and what is ultimately going on. If NFL Plus will work with me, as you know, I have no idea why it tries to do this here. Well, let's see here. Let me see if I can get this set up correctly. There we go. All right. So we're going to see this play develop. And here comes the play action from Hurts. And there's the rollout. And he gets that deep pass to Quez Watkins, who keeps his feet in bounds on the catch. That was a gain of about 28 yards. So let's go back and watch this. Again. We're gonna triangle frame by frame here. Again, this is like this isn't like NFL Game Pass where you got the all 22 and you're watching Baldy breakdowns and stuff like that, where they are able to do some of these plays in slow mo. And it looks like my dog upstairs is trying to get his comments in at the same time. So bear with me on that. But you know what? I'll tell you what, this is absolutely frustrating. NFL Plus, you got to get yourselves together with this. I'm sorry, you got to get yourselves together. It's hard. It's hard to rewind a play sometimes. Like I have to double click the play button, and it tends to skip and go right to the next play, and I don't want it to do that. But what eventually happens here? This comes down to play design. This is going to come down to play design. You got the play action from Hurts right here. Now, immediately when you stop. Now, the starting offensive line is pretty much intact for the most part. The only differences that we're working with is obviously Jason Kelce is not playing because of elbow surgery. And then at the left guard spot, they did not dress Landon Dickerson, so you got Sua Opeta. So what's ultimately happening here is Sua Opeta is immediately about to get beat. So that doesn't leave Hurts any kind of room to survey the field and see who his first option is going to be. To my guess here, the first option would be to Jalen Reagor, who is running a deep out. Unfortunately, he loses his footing at the end of his route. He loses his footing as soon as he's about to start to cut to the sideline. He loses his footing. So now Hurts is in a situation where he has to wait for A.J. Brown and Quez Watkins at the bottom of the screen to finish their progression on deep crossers. Now they're going to attack two different levels here, to whereas Reagor was supposed to attack about the first level, and then you got A.J. Brown working the second in between the linebackers and the defensive backs, more so the safety. And then you got Quez going a little deeper, attacking the third level in coverage with the safeties. And of course, here we go again. NFL Plus just skipping right to the next play. I mean, this is absolutely frustrating. I gotta get better at trying to manage this, but it is frustrating at the same time. So here we go again. We're going to see the further development here. You see Quez going the deeper one. But that's what I mean. Like we can't get into a mindset where, we're gonna create assumptions based on the live game. And see, I have a hard time speaking, but basically we can't create assumptions here as to what's going on. It comes down to play design. It comes down to how they look on the field as a cohesive unit. Who the specific target was on that play. Who was the go-to. So that's what we got going on with that one. The next one I want to bring up is more so involved of what I want to see more of during the season in terms of play calling is utilizing the middle of the field. And in this one specifically, we are going to see a 12 personnel package. And, let me bring it up here for a second. Wrong click. And here we go. All right. So for the first for this play here, the Eagles are in a 1st and 10 on the Jets 40. We're going to see a 12 personnel look here with Sanders to Hurts's right. You have Jack Stoll and Goddard working the right side here with, I believe, Quez and AJ Brown again on the bottom of the screen. So what you're going to see is you're going to see Dallas Goedert working the seam, and then he's going to come back on a sort of a curl, and Jack Stoll is going to do about the same thing, but he's going to work more of the middle of the field to come underneath at this level between the defensive line and between the linebackers to just get a a quick bang play for positive yardage. Again, there goes NFL Plus. But all right. So yeah, I mean, we didn't. To my knowledge, we didn't see this too often last year. But simple bang play sets you up in a better position for for a second and short opportunity, which in time would alleviate a lot of 3rd and longs, a lot of 3rd down situations where you're not going to be comfortable. You may have to bring some stuff up in the playbook that you don't necessarily want to run. But plays like this, utilizing 12 personnel, having 2 tight ends on the field, somebody that you can trust other than Dallas Goedert to put you in these kinds of opportunities. That's one thing that I want. That's one thing going forward that I want to look. That's what I want to look for more often as the season progresses. But let me know your thought. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments on this. If there's anything I'm missing. Do you agree with my assessment? I know this very first one for me is very rough, but as for anything, there is a learning curve. There is a learning process to this. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here. Appreciate you guys once more. Fly Eagles fly, bleed green. Take care of yourselves, everyone. And I will see you next time.